Hello, I'm John, the executive producer here at Final Show Films. I got a few notes for you before the show. First, I want to thank you all for watching. We couldn't do what we do or the amount of things that we do without the support of you, the viewer. If you want to support us financially, which we always appreciate, you can go to our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms, where you can donate as little as $1 a month to help us continue this and all the things that we do. I want to give a special shout out to our $25 supporters, Antitonic, Waterflame, and Samantha Bates. Second, I want to let you all know that we here at Final Show Films are planning a little get-together up at Gen Con this year. That's August 2nd through 5th up at Indianapolis. We're going to be up there just sort of hanging out, enjoying the con, spending time together, and if any of you guys want to come up and say hi, please feel free. We don't bite unless you want us to. And if you enjoy whatever it is you're about to watch or listen to, be sure to check out our website at finalshowfilms.com, where you can find links to all of our other content, both podcast and video. And be sure to follow me at John A. Bates on Twitter for more updates on all of the content we're creating in the future. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. And we're live.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to In Grover Green, Final Show Films' Changeling the Lost Chronicle. I'm Jack, I'm your storyteller for this evening, and to introduce our cast of characters, let's go around our virtual table, starting with Raphael.
Hi, I'm Raphael, and I'm playing Neofly, the Darkling Nightsinger.
And John.
I'm John, I'm playing Neurophyrus, the Elemental Fireheart, and currently trying to cough up my entire lungs.
Good to know. Aaron.
Coming to you from the land of technical difficulties, my name is Aaron, and I will be playing Mira, the Ferris Cadogan playmate.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Phage, the Ogre Gristle Grinder.
Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara, and I'm playing Liz, the Wizened Oracle.
And Holly.
I'm Holly. I'm playing Lark, the Beast Windwing.
And Jeremy.
Hello, I'm Jeremy. I'm playing Adele, Darkling Gravepoint.
Excellent. And as far as the Changelings in Baltimore go, it's been an eventful morning. Mira was inducted into the Motley Unlikely, conversations were held with ghosts, some hedge gardening was completed, and despite the perilous events of the previous evening, everything seems to be status quo for the moment. With various agendas underway and a number of objectives in mind, most of the Motley has re-entered the crack house to prepare for the upcoming days, although Liz and Neofly are lingering behind in the hollow to have a discussion, while downstairs in the real world, Liz's vintage Crosley radio crackles to life.
Damn it, I'm missing it.
Well now, I trust that all concerned know the ramifications of accomplishing anything at all in our revered freehold. One must sacrifice, scrape, scramble, and supplicate their way toward a better life, or any life at all, if rumors be true. I indeed cannot overstate the opinion, nay, the fact, that power is only in the hands of those who claim it, leaving the rest to bend a shoulder toward the chill wind, drawing the rags on their backs close against the uncaring world. Isn't that just a lovely specter to contemplate as our Samhain approaches? The influential and mighty on the one side, and to the other, all of us, yes, you and me both, the victims of grief, of rage, of terror, and of longing, veritably a crew of wretched souls.
I look over at the radio and go, holy shit, it talks!
And that's when we pivot back to the hollow, where Neofly and Liz are sort of savoring an awkward silence at the moment, let's say.
Yeah, I'm staring at you.
And this was after Neo had explained, or I had explained everything, and so I looked down at Liz and I'm just like, so do you think you can help me with this?
Oh, yeah. You don't like me.
Well, I won't say that I don't like you. It's just more of a, how you say, strange relationship between the both of us that needs to be worked on.
So You need my help to do that.
I mean, just to look in my brain and see what you can fish out
How is it in there?
in my dreams.
Yeah.
So
The question was, how is it in there?
How is it in there?
I storyteller, how is it in there?
Qualify your brain.
I mean, in terms of what Neofly has experienced, two of his most intensive and impactful dreams in the past month have both been about Butterfly. One of them obviously was something less than pleasant, where her facsimile showed up in your dreams. And then this last one felt different. It very much didn't have that sort of unease and deceptive nature that you had in the first one. This one was much more coherent in a sense. But your own analysis has definitely left you fairly well convinced that there is deeper either symbolism or significance to what you dreamed than you're able to divine for yourself.
Okay. I mean, how it's in there, it's just I know she's trying to send me a message, but I can't figure it out myself. There's no way I can get inside of my own dreams and figure it out myself, and I believe that you're the only person that can help me in this situation. And I understand that it's strange coming from a person who says your name in the most ill will and ill taste possible, and I apologize for that. But just this once, all I ask is that you could help me find this person, because I don't know what I will do if I can't figure out at least something.
At least something?
At least something.
What would you do for her if we do contact?
If she's calling out for help, I'm going to go help her. That's all I know. I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know how far I will take it, but I know that I will help her.
Okay. Do you want the others to know?
Neofly kind of just has this very extremely pensive look on his face, just really thinking about whether he wants to put everybody else into a situation or whether he just wants to deal with it by himself, and just really bouncing about in his mind, trying to figure out what would be the best possible solution. Storyteller, is there any way I can make a roll, kind of just to see what decision he will make based on that? Kind of just leaving this up to chance.
As far as that goes, I'd say give me a wits and occult.
Okay.
And Liz might explain further. First step is just looking around and seeing what's there before we do anything.
What do you mean?
We don't have to change any, we don't have to influence. You can watch a dream, or you can sort of tweak around with it.
Okay.
We can just watch first.
I think you might be right with that. 0 successes.
Okay. So yeah, as far as that goes, Liz is the expert here.
Okay.
And you are very familiar with the archetypes. Even as someone now come back to the real, this is starting to feel very tale-esque to you.
Mm-hmm.
And there's certain building blocks that a lot of folklore and fairy tales have. And getting the band back together is definitely one of those. So as to whether or not you tell other people, it's very frequent that even the active party, the inciting individual in any sort of fairy tale quest needs the help of other people in order to accomplish their goals. But then again, that might be something that's been foisted upon you by your keeper to inflict the inclination to have as many people around. So if they can utilize this to bait you back into Arcadia, you bring other people with you too.
As that thought kind of just runs through Neofly's mind, he kind of attempts to shake it off as he just looks at Liz, and he just says, well, we should probably get out of here first if we're going to watch whatever's happening.
Liz, give me an intelligence and occult.
Okay.
And do you have any specialties in occult?
Nope.
Okay.
2 successes.
You do know for a fact that dream riding is a lot easier inside the hedge than out.
Mm-hmm. Be easier in here.
Yeah, with that thought just really still just taking over Neo's mind, he's just like, you know what, you're the expert, and he kind of just quickly sits down, and just he just says,
You're
do whatever.
scared.
I'm extremely terrified. You are in fact correct. I just whatever it is that you need to do, just get it over with, please. And he just puts his head down and kind of just stays quiet and tries his best not to he tries to calm himself down in the situation because it's just really eating at him right now.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll tell everyone that we're going to stay here. I'm going to garden. So they don't have to know, but if something goes wrong, then they'll know where to find us. And so I go do that.
I give her a thumbs up. Just
Okay. So, meanwhile, Adele, you're at the night gallery.
I am.
You've been there for about an hour or so, and eventually your phone rings.
Pick it up. Hello.
Adele, I know that you were looking to get in touch with Gilly.
Yes.
It's Acacia, the one of the other members of the Haunted Waters.
It is a matter of some. Sooner would be better, if at all possible.
Well, she's very busy today, but if you, do you know where, Patty's Pit is? Down by the harbor?
I know where Patty's Pit is?
Intelligence and Streetwise.
All right. I know where Patty's.
You have fucking been there so many times. So, Baltimore's answer to the American obsession with barbecue is called pit beef. And Patty's Pit is one of the premier pit beef locations in the city.
Excuse me.
Not owned or operated by Joey Hot Sauce, but significant nonetheless.
Pit beef?
Are
Beef.
we entirely sure that isn't the name for buff demons in hell or something?
I really need you to explain pit beef before we go any further.
Okay, so pit beef is basically it's a slow cooked. Unlike most barbecue, which is cooked over wood in order to impart flavor, pit beef is always over charcoal. And most of the flavor comes from horseradish and a combination of other sauces, usually something proprietary to the establishment because everybody wants to have their own unique take. It's usually usually like kind of a brisket cut, and it's served on a bun with usually onions and shit like that. But it's a very sort of Baltimore-esque type of cuisine. And you can find it. There's lots of, if you do any sort of road tripping around Maryland, at some point you will drive by a roadside pit beef stand or thing. But with the advent of the food truck industry, people have started setting up in locations around the city as well for smaller scale stuff. And Patty's Pit is one of the more infamous in terms of where to go if you want good pit beef down by the harbor.
Please tell me they have something called Satan sauce that they apply to the pit beef.
I'm sure they probably do. But Adele, you would know where their usual setup is.
Okay.
Alternatively, you can always just go to their Facebook and see where they're set up currently. And apparently that's where Gilly's having lunch. And Acacia says she's not booked right now. So if you need to talk to her, that's where I'd meet her.
How much time do I have?
Right about now, it's about 11:30, so probably about a half an hour or so.
Wonderful. Thank you for letting me know. We will certainly make contact.
Okay. I'll text her and say you'll probably be showing up.
All right. Not just me, it's others and yes. Others of
Sounds good.
hang up immediately. Call.
Everybody else.
Well, yeah, do the group text thing.
Am I
So everybody
entered into the group text?
Yes, you have been entered
Okay.
into the group text.
You didn't-
If not, I add you.
You didn't do a call?
No.
Oh, damn it.
No, can you have you, being on a group call when one of the other people on the group call is in the room with you is a nightmare.
No. It's like calling one person, but it's like so. I've probably pulled Mira, Phage, and Lark over to the radio by this point, and like seriously, guys, it fucking talked.
Did I hear it? Jack, sorry.
Anybody who was in the house at the time has the option to have heard it. Yes.
Yeah, well, of course. Didn't Liz say so?
Yeah, but this also says lots of things that don't necessarily correlate one-to-one with what has actually happened, so...
If you're curious about things, maybe just ask your friend about them.
I did.
But yes, the
And-
radio certainly did turn on and speak
that-
about changeling matters.
That's the other half of it, is that asking Liz directly sometimes doesn't end up in an answer.
You should be nicer to your friends.
I adore Liz, but just there's an amount of information that you will and will not get when asking Liz any question.
Aren't radios supposed to talk?
Yes, but not...
So yes.
I pull...
And unlike trees, I think they're also supposed to talk on this side.
I hold up the cord, though. It's like, yes, but not when not plugged in.
No, it's
I thought Liz plugged it in.
Oh, was it plugged in? Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, it was plugged in. But usually they don't just talk and then stop.
Also, they don't
Yeah.
just
And
turn
usually they
on.
don't talk about us.
Yeah. Also, they don't just turn on, talk, and then turn off.
I mean, it sounds like DJ Utzel has a partner or something. That certainly wasn't Utzel's voice, but
Yeah, no, it's this
Changeling Radio.
Radio's-
Are you really that surprised by it at this point?
I'm not so much surprised by it as it's just it's weird. Okay, I've had a lot of stuff on my mind. Okay, and then get text. Oh, well.
Yeah,
Okay.
so specifically, it is Gilly and just list the address,
Mhm.
lunch date, and then a skull icon. Or am I-
I'll go get Liz. I'm sure she'll be really excited to know that her radio made noise again. I'm disappointed she wasn't here to hear it.
Yeah. And also tell them about lunch.
Of course.
And then immediately after, half hour.
Be quick.
No offense, but you're her. Fuck. What's it called?
What's what called?
Actually, she'll just. I know, but your house isn't actually that large.
No, it's not.
Hollow was the term you're looking
Yeah.
for, I think.
It was.
Yep.
By the way, Jack, we need to clarify whether or not I'm incorporated into those dots of hollow, or if the hollow gets smaller without Gale there or something at some point.
Yep. Actually, the hollow has gotten smaller without Gale
Okay.
there. Yep.
Fair enough. And I'm back to being able to see Holly's forehead and Jack's eyeball.
Cool.
Very exciting. At some point, I pop out. I don't know. where in
Yeah,
this
I
stuff.
don't
Yeah.
know if I need to. I'll go in, but
No, probably around this time, since you guys spent some time talking about the radio, Liz pops out back into the reel just as Mira's coming up the stairs.
Hi.
yes. Hi. Have you seen Neofly? Apparently, we've got to go meet
He's
with
back
the
there.
Queen about the thing Adele was interested in talking to her about. And also your radio turned on while you were away.
What?
Nero
What?
heard it, so he
No?
praised you now.
Ah! It did? What did it say?
And well, I am not quite as good as Gail will do her best to convey the message.
Mira will.
Doing Mira. Fucking hell. Talking
this
about
to
the
yourself.
importance of doing things and
Their names aren't even all that
Right.
similar.
I like
No,
the idea
they're
that
not.
Gail just stuck her head in the room, relayed
To
the
fuck
message,
with
and then
everyone?
stuck her head out.
Just nope to the fuck back out.
Oh.
So yes, Liz, all of this information is transferred to you.
Ooh.
Gail's that roommate that moved out but never left.
Oh, yeah.
Gale's the ghost haunting the building.
Yes. She was
That
dead
would
all
be an
along.
awkward name coincidence.
Oh, okay. I was gonna garden, and Neo said he would stay and help and make.
I'll
sure
text the group
what?
chat, Adele. Everyone, and Lis and Neo hoping in the garden. Which I guess goes to everyone.
Yeah. Mhm. Sure does.
Except for Neo, because sorry, dude, we're making decisions about this, but you're in the hedge.
I look at the
Adele's waiting to see what other people text.
I wait for a second to see if anyone else texts.
If
If it
everyone
goes more
seems
than, like,
to be
2 or
waiting, Gail will text.
Gale will?
Mira.
Actually, can I roll like an insight check to see how if this is just this is what I was already doing, can I continue doing that? Or if it's something that she finds very important?
That'd be a wits and empathy.
Is that against something on my end?
If you're trying to hide it, it will be manipulation and subterfuge.
I like
Yes, probably.
I like the idea
She's
that Adele
trying
and
to
Nero
cover.
are staring at their phones with the exact same expression of, wait, hold on.
I mean, if it goes
Successes?
longer than like 5 seconds, she's responding.
Rolls don't take that long.
No, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
I know.
No,
Zero successes.
that was a
I'm
response to me.
bad at lying.
So, is this important to Liz? Does it seem more like she was just distracted doing something already? Or
It's
what, if
very-
anything, do I get?
It's very important.
Okay.
And she was kind of hesitant to leave earlier. Like, she kind of wanted to stay, but other stuff was going on. But now something has come up.
It doesn't just seem like one track mind. Cool.
Yeah.
Then Mira will.
Although Mira, with your interactions with Liz over the last 48 hours, you are sort of getting the idea that whatever Liz is doing right now is always very, very, very important.
Yes.
But that's the impression she has, and I'm going to respect it.
That is perfectly fair.
So yeah, if there's no response after like 5 seconds, there she will put why.
Okay, because I made a bad decision. Yes, why, or why as in question why?
Why is in yes.
Okay.
As in, that's fine.
Sweet.
Gail will show Liz the phone. Liz actually on the phone.
Okay.
If you need anything, I am your friend. I'm here to help. But have a good time gardening.
Yay, I will. Bye.
And they both go their alternate direction.
I don't think I need a roll to figure out that was kind of shady.
And Liz does the emotional and spiritual equivalent of Homer drifting back into the head.
I mean,
Listen,
actually,
if you
just
see
got
Neo,
into
Stop
the
it.
I said
Say
spiritual.
south, and then walk
If
away.
you see Neo, let him know that about that we are going to meet with her.
Yes, I will.
Bye.
Bye.
Gail
And she
will
walks.
bounce back downstairs.
Mira.
Mira.
Yes. Ah,
No, sorry.
why today specifically?
I don't know. It's all good.
When all of the
Alright.
things Gail would never do are happening.
Oh,
Stop saying name.
text OMW and head out.
Okay.
We're fucking millennials, you guys.
No,
I mean,
no.
I was
Y'all-
actually born in the 90s in this game, so kind of.
Yep.
No, I was in my. I would need to check my backstory.
This is not.
I was born in the 70s. Thank you very much.
Yep.
Is that in-game or out of
okay.
game?
Yes. Legitimately in both cases.
All right. So everybody is headed to the inner harbor except for the two that are still in the hedge. Yes?
Yep.
Okay. All right. We will chase down the gang with Gilly first then, because it's going to take Neofly a little while to fall asleep. Considering he's only been up for like 2-3 hours.
I mean,
So,
Liz can just like back of the head, you know.
That's not sleep.
that's called
unconsciousness.
assault, and that's called
Yeah.
bludgeoning damage and potential brain
You
injury.
can't dream in that state. It would not work.
Got it. Right. So,
Why did they say
Adele
only
having
drugs?
gotten the address to everybody, you guys all assemble in a parking lot down by the inner harbor.
Avengers Assemble.
What?
Instead of Avengers Assemble.
Yes, pretty much.
Are we the West Coast Avengers?
We're
Yeah,
barely
the
even
East
the
Coast.
Great Lakes Avengers. Let's be honest.
Okay, fair.
Whatever the Chesapeake Bay Avengers are.
We're the New Hampshire. We're the New England Avengers.
Maryland is south of the Mason-Dixon line. There's nothing New England about it. So
That's exactly.
you
right.
guys come. You guys come down Conway, find some public parking for which you are charged way more money than is acceptable, and go find this food truck, which is set up in alongside the sidewalk, mostly with people just there by some of the green space and public areas. But everybody's just lining up, grabbing their barbecue pit beef, and wandering off to go find somewhere to sit. You can see Gilly in line. She's very easy to pick out because she is quite literally the only changeling present, besides the group of you. So when you're looking at a crowd of people and one of them is very obviously sopping wet with a rather fish-like aspect to them, they're very easy to distinguish from the other rank and file of the mundanes. But as she sees you coming up, she gives you a little bit of a wave and then kind of an apologetic shrug to the 20-odd people that are behind her in line. This place is very popular.
Fair enough. Walk up, umbrella out.
Right.
'Cause sun. Fuck sun.
Afternoon.
Good evening. We have. We appreciate this moment of your time. We have some information that we believe would be important to relate, and we didn't think that it was something that could necessarily wait looking over it.
Please tell me this. You've discovered something about our friend Kay?
Not quite. No, this is something.
This
tangentially related.
is something different, and normally it would be, as you will understand once it explained, more of a personal matter. But there is a
Connection.
There is a, what is the correct word? Constabulatory
Order up!
aspect to this.
And they give her sandwich, which you can see is this very rare propane smoked beef with a shit ton of very strong horseradish. And she grabs it and says, "All right, well, let's get out of this crowd."
Yep.
Wonderful.
Pull away.
And she drags you off towards there's a fountain there where some people are milling about, but hardly anybody's sitting down. And she just plops herself on the lip of this public sculpture. Definitely a little closer to the spray than most people would feel comfortable, but it's Gilly, and gives you kind of a look as she takes a bite.
So, it was.
I look over to Nero and let him start to explain.
So it would seem that when I was taken previously, the good folks on the other side left something in my place that has become aware that I exist and is intent to kill me.
She holds up a finger, glances around. So what you're saying is, when you were out of town, the house sitter left something behind that needs to be put back in their possession before it becomes an issue for you to keep storing it at your place.
Yes.
Correct. And
she glances over at you, Adele, in a "dear God, what the fuck" sort of look, and also at all the teeming masses of mortals around you.
A little shrug.
Summer court.
And the concern, again, this would be a very personal matter if it wasn't for the fact that due to the nature of Nero specifically, there is the necessity of law enforcement getting involved.
She glances at Nero for a minute. That's right. You did have former employment, didn't you?
Yep.
And that's been maintained during your sabbatical.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see how that is that much more of a changes what should probably be done.
Oh, it doesn't change at all about getting the right property back into the right hands.
Yes.
It just means that some delicacy will be required in order to solve your problem, she says, looking very pointedly at Nero.
Oh.
So, what do you need from me?
Mostly just wanted to inform you, because it would be probably bad for this to be a surprise to the court.
Well, I appreciate that.
I feel like my purpose for being here right now is to remind the group of you of important details that you might have forgotten. The the situation wherein we discovered the present from the housekeeper was 2 blocks down from our nightclub.
Yeah, that too.
Which means that person who has a little bit more than he should know was very near to plain sight of a lot of us.
I mean, yes, of course.
And you can feel almost the cold wind blowing off of Gilly's mantle at this point, as she sort of draws herself up. Well, then, for what it's worth, consider this an official directive from your rightful authorities that this will need to be handled quickly, but above all, quietly, in such a manner as to ensure that there is no longer a threat to our current business holdings in the city.
You know, I was doing some reading recently about some of the most dangerous jobs in the United States, in the state, in the city. You'd be surprised which ones are on that list.
I probably would be. In a very dry sort of way, indicating that she probably knows.
Yeah.
But even if she didn't, the meaning is quite plain.
Yeah.
Very well. There is as I'm sure you're aware, Adele, a very strong sentiment, even before our organization was initially formed, that items left in place are the responsibility of the individual whose place it is.
Of course.
It is a matter of passage, almost, to ensure that one's own messes are cleaned up by one.
Mm-hmm.
There is, I feel, not entirely unjustly, a matter of, shall we say, professional pride amongst a great number of our company, in that those sort of things are handled personally. Of course, having assistance is not looked poorly upon, but it is not something that can generally be expected from those outside your nuclear family.
Of course. Again, this was more on informing than a request for aid.
I absolutely understand, and I hope you'll take my statements in the same vein.
Of course.
Well,
Due to, I'm sure you can imagine, due to this, and us trying to deal with the immediate aftermath, we have not made any progress in the last day, because it's only been like a day since I last
it's
talked.
been
Literally a day.
literally like 18 hours.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Yep.
But we have not
Understood.
had an opportunity. But that is still number 2 now.
Excellent. And I trust all of you will be in attendance tomorrow night?
Of course, would not.
Very good. Especially, and she kind of points at Adele and Lark as the other 2 Autumn Court members currently. Your presence will be most necessary.
Out of game, I forget. What was tomorrow night?
Halloween.
Halloween.
Tomorrow night's Halloween.
Fuckery
Okay.
with the Autumn Court.
Right,
Well.
right.
I'll see you all then.
Absolutely.
And she balls up her trash, chucks it in a can, and walks off in a easterly direction, which anybody local would know is the direction of the National Aquarium.
Look back at the group. Well, should we go discuss how to get the situation resolved somewhere that is not going to
Yeah, that'd be good.
destroy my complexion?
I've got some work I need to do on the Hollow anyway, so
Head back to the house.
All right, so while you guys are headed back there, we will pivot back to Liz and Neofly.
Yes.
So, Neofly, I assume you are basically laying down and trying to fall asleep, yes?
Before he does that, he kind of
You may need to volume.
Sorry. The
There we
best before he does that, I had my pad on, I apologize. What he does is he takes out his cavaquinho because he always has a stringed instrument on him, or else he can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
He takes out his cavaquinho, which is a Portuguese what's it called? A Portuguese like small body guitar, and he begins to play just a soft melody, kind of just anything that would seem to help him calm down, in a sense, just so he can get back to his senses and relax and probably try to go back to sleep or try to get sleep.
Roll me a resolve and composure. And you can have a +1 because of the music.
2, 4. There we go. 2 successes.
You're able to send it with the music serving as sort of a focus. You're able to fairly quickly. Those peaks of emotion that you were kind of going through and the stress begins to dissipate somewhat. And after about 5-10 minutes or so, you just sort of set the instrument down, lean back, and start to let yourself drift off.
As a note, I just actually, as I'm laying down, I make sure to keep my hand on the instrument, specifically on its neck, just to keep it wrapped around. Just for, I don't know, safety reasons. It's kind of his security blanket. He kind of uses that as his teddy bear in this instance.
Cool. Oh, and we lost Holly.
Oh no.
So, Liz, you have been investigating the various goblin fruits and things that are down there.
Mhm.
Just trying to get an idea, because the nature of the hedge being psychoactive, it can change very rapidly, and so landmarks, even in a short range localized area, can be difficult to maintain access to. But you're trying to at least mark out, in a sense, where these various goblin fruits are, so that when the time comes, or you're going to try and tend more of them, you know where to go, what to do, that sort of thing.
Mhm.
But after about 20 minutes or so, you hear the music that was coming from the hollow overhead has stopped, and it's been silent up there for a little while.
Okay. I'll go back up.
Okay. Neofly is kind of leaned up against a wall, seated, eyes closed, breathing steady and slow. Seems to be asleep.
Okay. It's gonna be okay. I'm gonna pet your head, and then I'm gonna dive on in there. I'm doing writing the dream.
Okay.
Dream writing.
Yep. So first, I will need Neofly. You will need to roll me a wits and resolve.
All right. Roll high.
Don't do that. Don't do that. What's in resolve? One success.
All right. So it's a fairly low intensity dream as things go. So you'll have Liz, you'll have an intensity of 1 whenever
All
that
right.
comes in.
Cool.
Whenever that comes in for mechanics.
All right.
So give me a wits and empathy and you're weird -1.
All right. So that's plus nothing. 0 successes.
Okay. So for the first couple minutes, you're just trying to pierce the vein here.
Mhm.
And nothing's really happening. You're feeling like your technique is just off. It's like trying to grab onto something that doesn't take friction. Like trying to hold some liquid nitrogen in your hand almost. You know, there's this weird sensation of gripping without actually making contact. So at this point, you can either invoke one of your contracts if you want, or give it another try. Only about 5 minutes has gone by so far.
I will invoke a contract, because I think if I'm touching his forehead, then I'm okay to not have to spend a glimmer. So I will do that. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, that one will. Let me double check the wording. For forging the dream, that would change things, wouldn't it? Possibly.
Yes, it would.
Okay, I don't want to do that. I'm going to keep trying to get in normally then, because I don't want to alter anything, because I need to see what's going on first.
All right.
Yep.
So same roll again. You only need 1 success to succeed. You can spend willpower if you need to.
I'll spend a willpower at this point.
Okay.
Let's spend that willpower. All right, so that makes it +1.
Should make it +3.
Yep. But I have -1 from the 08. Yeah, it would be +3. Thank you. I can't do math.
That's all good. That's what I'm here for.
1 success. There we go.
All right. So you manage just pushing yourself onto it, focusing, concentrating, utilizing all of your powers of intensity to lay hold of whatever's happening in Neofly's subconscious at this point. And you find yourself, all of a sudden, your vision just washes over. The hollow dissolves from around you, and you see yourself at a much higher vantage point than you're used to, almost like you're floating like about 3 feet above and behind Neofly's head as he's pushing his way through this thick, thorny brush, trying to duck under branches and maneuver around so that the jagged barbs from the plant life doesn't injure him too badly. Neofly, it's a different type of vegetation, but it still feels very similar to the sort of experience you had on the previous evening, where it's no longer the tall grass, it's a much denser, woodier, more resistant type of plant life, but this feels like the beginning of that previous dream. And going into it and looking for this dream itself, you're feeling a little more lucid with it. Like you have a level of control here, or at least around your local area. And as you think about the dream previously, you remember you got through the plants, and then eventually you came to a clearing, and she was in a cage on the other side of the glade.
So first thing I'm going to do before interacting with anything, so what he described didn't sound prophetic to me at all, right? It sounded like, at least what I was getting from it, it's either a communication or it's maybe just his wishful thinking. So
give me an intelligence and occult.
Okay. Three successes.
With 3 successes, there's a couple different options. Based on what he told you about it, and the fact that now it seems to be similar to his description, possibly recurring. Mm-hmm. Very faint plot possibility of prophetic or wish fulfillment. Probably in descending order, it would probably be most likely it's recurring, then wish fulfillment. Third would be prophetic.
Well, I am always looking for prophecies, so I'm going to check that possibility before I do anything.
Okay. You will need a wits and empathy -1.
All right. Zero successes. Ugh.
So what do you try to change?
Well, with determining prophecy, I can't change anything, right? Like if I change anything, then it will affect. Then it ceases to become a prophetic dream.
Oh, sorry, I had you roll the wrong thing then. Yes. Yeah. No, you would need to roll wits and occult and your weird +1 in that case. Yep. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. Wits and occult plus weird. So many rolls. 0 successes. Still terrible.
So yeah, you're not able to determine. Now you are aware of the fact that if you make any changes to the dream, it ceases to become a prophetic dream, and everything after this point is just whatever. So if this is a prophetic dream, you're not able to diagnose that quite yet.
Okay.
So at this point, you can either risk nullifying a prophecy, or you can just let it play out and just don't try and change anything, just in case.
I think I'm watching on this one. I don't think I want to change anything because that's what I told Neo we were going to do is just watch and see. So I'm going to wait.
All right. So Neofly, you're pushing your way through this brush and shrubbery. What do you plan to do?
Basically, I'm just going to attempt to search for the cage that was in my last stream and see if Butterfly's still there.
Okay. All right. Give me a wits and survival with an additional 1.
4. Survival. 3 successes.
So this is just an immensely dense tangle of very resistant plant growth. But through dint of focus and persistence, you're able to make your way through it, pull back branches, duck under thorns, and navigate your way through this highly obstructive kind of nature of this dreamscape around you. And you manage to somehow psychologically, almost, it feels like you are able to either decrease the density or increase the lithe movements, and you're fairly soon find yourself coming out into a much brighter, much more open area. And you see the cage on the other side, where Butterfly looks up at you. And there's just the faintest tremor of her wings as she reaches out a hand, not grabbing her fists around the thorny bars at this point, but just reaching out a hand that stops probably 2 inches through the bars, as though she's held in place. From the spacing, obviously they're narrow enough that she couldn't bodily squeeze through, but it would look like she would be able to at least fit her hand and most of her forearm throughout, but she can't seem to get her fingers more than a couple inches through the barrier.
Is there any way I could try to figure out to see if there's like anything stopping her from getting her forearm and arm out? Kind of just
You would have to go closer. You can't see anything from this distance. It's possible she's bound somehow that's preventing her from extending her limbs, or there may be some magical compulsion there, but you would have to get closer to see if you could find any more details.
Okay, before I get closer, can I check on my person to see if I have my gun with me?
Yes.
Okay.
So you look around, and you usually keep it holstered. I forget. Do you have the shoulder or the hip holster usually?
It's a hip holster.
Right. Yeah. So you look around and there's nothing on your hip there for a minute. And then go ahead and roll me. Let me take a look at your character sheet here real quick. Go ahead and roll me intelligence plus 1.
Okay. Zero successes.
As you look down, you don't see your gun there. In fact, the place where the holster even is on your hip is usually not there. But you stare at it for just a minute, and then all of a sudden, the empty holster just sort of materializes into existence.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll me intelligence and firearms plus 1 now.
Got it. Specialty. 3 successes.
And having seen that, you pause for a minute because you've never seen anything like this happen before. And then you focus your mind a little bit because you know that, okay, the holster's there now where it wasn't before, but the gun isn't. Where's the gun? And you look at your hip and you look at your hip, and then all of a sudden you feel a weight in your dominant hand. And there's your gun.
Okay. Kind of continuing on this route, I would have had the neck of my cavaquinho in my right hand. So I would want to try to see if I can materialize that as well into existence, if it's possible.
Roll me an intelligence +1.
Okay. Three successes.
After a moment of concentration, there's the instrument as well.
Okay, so I put my gun back in its holster, and I just strap my cavaquinho on me, and I begin to slowly step forward to the cage. Just having my hands on the strings, ready to play anything, just in case.
Okay. So, Liz, you're seeing Neo having somehow materialized several things in his hands, which to you makes sense. You know how dream sculpting works. And as changelings, there's an innate facility that you guys have with being able to manipulate your own dreams specifically, but even with proper training, the dreams of others as well. And then he begins to move slowly across this clearing, approaching this woman who you are now seeing for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
She has butterfly wings coming out of her shoulder blades. She seems to be clad in a tattered sort of smock, with this kind of pale blondie reddish hair that sort of just cascades down over her shoulders. Her eyes are a little larger than you would consider humanly normal, and they have a vaguely compound insectoid appearance to the pupils themselves. The sclera around looks normal, but the pupils are fractured and fragmented in that sort of insectoid fashion. The type of scales that you see on a butterfly wing dust over her shoulders and partway down her upper arms. And you can see scars on her hands and forearms as well. Not old ones, fresh ones, very fresh. And Neofly, as you get closer, you see her mouth open, and the sound like the buzzing of 1,000 fly wings just sort of cascades out and over the clearing. You can hear this as well, Liz. She's not saying anything. She's just making this noise.
I kind of just call out to her, "Butterfly." Kind of just leaving it there to see if there's any other response from her.
She blinks, shakes her head, and then glances over your shoulder, Neofly. She's looking at something behind you that you can't quite see.
Can I see where she's looking?
Yeah, if you guys follow her gaze, you can see this thick barrier of the hedge plants beginning to creak and open as though someone is sculpting a passage through it.
I quickly move my guitar to my back and pull out my gun again.
That seems not good. I don't. No, I'm gonna keep watching. I don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, and as you look around, Liz, you don't have a body. You're literally just a floating vision.
Okay. Right. All right. Yep. I'm looking around. I'm trying to see if there's anything that's influencing this. If what it seems like. I'm not touching anything yet, but.
Mm-hmm. It's actually very evident what seems to be causing this very, very soon. A number of a quartet of stout, broad hobgoblins, clad in mismatched clothing, wearing and holding metallic weapons and a little bit of armor, mostly kind of upper body, shoulders, come stumping their way out through the hedge. Two of them have spears. Another one has an axe. And the third one has a very long, sort of stiff pole with some sort of fork at the end and some bits of rope hanging off of it. And Neofly, you're standing almost directly in their line of sight. And as they see you, two of them lower their spears, but they keep walking forward. They're not slowing or altering their pace or speed whatsoever.
Keeping my gun at level distance. I, as calmly as possible, just say, "What do you want with her?"
They don't answer. They just keep walking forward, their spears pointed. They get about 2 steps from you as the point of the spears are leveled sort of towards your chest, but off-center just slightly. And then they slip through you. They keep walking, their eyes focused on the cage, as if you're not even there. They walk through you like you're a mist.
I turn around and I see what's, I guess, just visualize, just see what's going to happen next.
And the last one, the one with the long pole arm forked at one end, comes up, and you can see him knotting something together along the shaft of it. And Butterfly is still there with her hand held outwards, frozen in position as he slips the pole into the cage. And you see that the fork has a loop of rope in it, which he just drops over her head and tightens around her neck and just holds her there. Meanwhile, the one with the axe goes to the other side, murmurs a few words, and touches the corners of the cage. And immediately, whatever binding twine has held this thing together unravels itself, and the bars just all collapse in a pile. And Butterfly is now standing out in the open, restrained by her neck, as this guy with the axe, this hobgoblin, gathers up the twine, pulls her wrists together in front of her, wraps the twine around them, and taps it, and it immediately cinches up skin tight to where she is now bound by her hands, as well as restrained by her neck. Right then, love. So, time to get to market. What?
Market.
And her mouth drops open again, and that sound of fly wings buzzing ripples out. Nay now, love. None of that lip. Come on. Time to go. Don't want to be caught out in these parts after dark. And they begin to march off back down that passageway.
I'm going to follow
The two
them.
spearmen are leading the way, with the guy with the pole third in line, keeping Butterfly, and the one with the axe just striding along behind everybody else, whistling a jaunty tune as they begin to move deeper into the hedge.
I've been watching this for a little bit. Neofly has tried to interact with her. He's been walked straight through. Does she seem to register his presence at all?
Give me a wits and composure.
Okay.
Yeah, as I begin to follow them, I kind of just point my gun to the back of the head of the goblin with the axe, the one that's in the back, as they move.
One success.
Liz, as you're watching for this, as they walk her back across the clearing, away from where the cage was, towards the tunnel through the hedge, her head is held very firmly by this weird forked implement. But you can see her eyes turn to try and follow Neofly's position as long as she can before she is eventually forced past him and can't turn her head to look anymore. Neofly, you are maybe 3 or 4 feet behind this hobgoblin with your gun right behind his head.
Okay. I think the one thing I can do now is just say, Butterfly, if you can hear me, I will find you. I'll get you out of this. Just please stay alive. And I kind of just stop and watch as they exit.
You get to the word alive, and your eyes snap open back in the hollow.
I wake up with a good... Did you see that?
It was a communication.
Did she hear me?
Yes. Did she? The words? I know she saw him. I don't know if she heard, but I'm going to tell Neo that she heard.
Yeah, you weren't in a position to know for certain whether or not she could hear.
Okay.
Yeah, you're very confident she could see him, or at least was aware of his presence to some extent. You don't know if she could hear him.
She knows.
What market could they possibly be talking about?
Are there? So there's the one goblin market. Are there? Do I know if there's other ones?
You haven't heard of any other ones.
Okay.
There could be, but
yep.
The only one you know of is the one that Will Starkers took you guys to.
There's one.
Would Neofly remember this goblin market?
Yeah, I think you went along.
Okay.
Yeah. Though it was a place where it was one of the pledges that the first pledge actually that you guys made with the Haunted Waters. Part of your duties was to help them with something they needed to get done, which turned out to be escorting Will to the goblin market so that he could pick up some things they apparently needed. So you guys, as a motley, he went book shopping, and he found some, and you guys found some things too. But yeah, you've been there once before. It's creepy and perilous and disturbing at the best of times, but you know where it is, yeah.
He just looks up at Liz and just says, "Thank you." And he quickly stands up and begins to walk out towards the hedge, putting his Kavakinga back in its case.
You did good.
She yells at your back. Yeah, he doesn't respond. He just
You pulled stuff out of your dream. That was good.
He kind of just wearily puts his thumb up as he just continues to walk. You
want to plan?
You could see visibly that his thumb and hand are shaking.
Mm-hmm.
And in his mind, the only thing that he's looking to do is finding Will, because he needs to figure out how to get back to that goblin market.
Okay, so you're headed back out of the hollow into Baltimore?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Given the time that would have had to transpire, it actually has been almost an hour or two for you guys as well. So we're going to say everybody's less getting back to the crack house around the same time. So you guys will come out of the hollow just as the rest of the group is pulling up.
I'm gonna say into the empty air of the hollow as I leave, because you've left before me, because there's more I can do, and then go out. Head out.
We
Yeah,
arrive.
pull up. Walk in.
Smoking cigarettes.
Neo's doing the same, kind of just to relax himself.
How are we going to assassinate your police officer?
There's a Nero opens his mouth as if he's going to say something, closes his mouth, does that for about 3 or 4 more times.
I can sense something.
And she's fully expecting. She expected that.
Phage, having no real place in this conversation, just heads up and into the hollow.
Are we not there yet? I don't know.
No, you guys are.
Yeah, List should be there.
Okay,
Yeah,
I wave
I
it,
wasn't
listen-
sure.
I wave it, listen, Neo fly.
Hello.
Also, John, your hair is in front of your face and it's creating this hilarious mustache effect in my technical issues.
Oh, in the.
No, it's just because John has
because
multiple
of-
heads right now.
yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
At your fetch, I can send stuff at your fetch.
Like what?
Like a drive-by?
Messages. Well,
We don't know that any of our powers work on fetches. Actually, we know at least
We
none of
know
mine
that
do.
they do not.
it does.
What? Have you sent messages to fetches before?
No, but I know what happens.
What sort of message would you want to
Attention
send?
turns.
Up to you. It's your fetch. But you can send messages. I don't think I can send one to yours. I don't think that's how that works, right? I think it has to be to your own fetch. Out of character.
Are you talking about sharing dreams?
Yes. I'm talking about sending messages and nightmares to someone's
changeling.
fetch.
Yes, a changeling innately has the ability to tap into their fetch's dream with greater ease than really anybody else's.
But I couldn't tap into someone else's fetch's dream, even someone in my...
That would be, I mean, you could, but it would take a lot of work.
Yep. Okay. No, you can send stuff.
I have so many questions.
Uh,
But before we get to those,
I mean, I don't personally know how, but I know someone I could ask.
Me.
No, I meant that was more about the assassination.
the drive-by.
That what Adele was talking about.
Oh.
Though I also don't know how to do that. So if you taught me how to do that, maybe we could get something out of that too.
Yep.
I would be more than willing to learn if you would like to teach me how to do that, Liz. But I don't know how myself.
Do we?
Um.
This is your situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I
That
know.
said, it reflects on all of us. Therefore, it is not just your situation, and I 100% just lied.
Thanks for that, Adele. I know.
There's a polite laugh from Mira's corner.
There's a club I can go to talk to somebody tonight about potential solutions, though I don't know if it'll have any real effect or if I'll be able to get anywhere, because the person that I'll be talking to won't recognize this face and might just try to kill me instead.
I don't understand.
When I was
Go
a
ahead.
police officer, I worked with and knew of certain criminal elements in the city, one of whom I dated for a little while.
That partially answers what my next question was going to be.
Yeah.
And I was trying to be somewhat delicate with it, but how virtuous were you as a police officer?
Very. I didn't know he was connected to the things that I now know he's connected to.
That's highly unfortunate.
Yeah. So he might have reason to want to help with this particular issue. He might also have reason to want to shoot me for bringing it up. It was complicated and a long time ago. So that's a potential.
Does he still like you?
I don't know.
Well, you should ask.
Are the odds?
That's what I would be doing if I were to go.
So there is certainly value in potentially contacting doing dream contact with your other, simply to get information.
Yeah.
Whether he still lives in the place where he used to live. What the combination for his security system is.
Oh, I don't think you can get stuff like that.
If they broadcast it, why not?
I mean, worth a shot, I guess, but...
If said place is not incredibly occupied by other people and thus potentially susceptible to arson.
Yeah, no, there's information that can be gathered.
Or if it is occupied by more people and then susceptible to arson.
Yeah, Adele.
What?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I am trying to help.
I appreciate that. I guess anybody else have any ideas? Otherwise, I guess Liz and I are going to be talking about dreams.
Yeah, you can send dreams after your fetch.
GM, do I have,
Yes?
given my particular specific background, any inclinations about how to approach this situation?
I don't know that your background necessarily gave you...
Not in terms of how to assassinate a fetch, but in terms of how to talk to someone who's going through this sort of process. Or contention in the case of Nero and Adele's varying...
The opposite way of how Adele is.
I mean, yeah, there's that. This is from Mira's perspective. This is obviously an intensely personal issue to Nero.
Mm-hmm.
Adele is not wrong in that it affects more than just Nero, but this is very much mostly his. And by mostly, I mean like 95%. So that would probably be worth focusing on in terms of communication style.
Okay. So, I've been looking at my social maneuvers merit.
Mm-hmm. Love that.
And I don't know if the 1 dot iteration, Sugar Lips, Honey Tongue, would apply to this conversation, given she has not yet said anything to either of them, but...
As far as that goes, let me take a look here.
I don't know what those do.
I have fighting style social maneuvers, which is a thing you can get in this game, and I am so happy it exists.
And I am trying to remember which book that is in.
If I remember right, it's in Night Horrors or something.
Yes, I think I think. No, not Autumn Nightmares. Grim Night Horrors, Grim Fears.
Yes. I honestly, I just copied all of my abilities into a separate document because I wanted easy access to just them. But
okay, so so with Mira not having said anything to either of them yet, you can incorporate Sugar Lips Honey Tongue at this point. Which one of them are you trying to knock off balance?
It's not hard to knock Nero off balance. He already is.
Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of. That's what I was sort of asking you about in terms of Mira potentially having experience with approach here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would just have to decide, all right, whose side am I coming down on? Which of these two, Adele or Nero, do I want to put at a disadvantage?
That's fair. I'm gonna say, given her background, at this point she's probably going after Nero.
Okay. So at this point, I would say, what is Mira's empathy score?
Her empathy score is 1. It's not great.
Okay. All right. So you'll be rolling manipulation and socialize +1. Nero, you'll be rolling presence and composure.
Wait.
And I'll need Mira to come up with a backhanded compliment.
That's the part I already had.
Okay, good.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Ooh.
Let me make sure I didn't. Nope, that's just a bad roll. That was 6 dice.
God.
2 successes.
All right. So what is Mira's opening line?
So Mira will just sort of wait. I can force you to re-roll that. I can spend a willpower for you to be forced to re-roll that because I have 3 dots in social maneuvers.
Okay.
There we go.
GM can check, but I know this one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
3 successes.
But you get to re-roll. You get to re-roll as well, Mira.
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Oh, well,
And you can spell in willpower.
Can I spend a willpower in addition to the willpower I spent to re-roll it at all?
Yes, because you spend the willpower to force the re-roll, and then you can also, on a roll, spend a willpower. So yes.
We're spending that. So that's +4.
Right. Yeah.
I'm going to be so fucking pissed if this fails.
oh my god!
So
I don't even know
your
what this
backhanded
is.
compliment?
I don't even know what this is.
7
doing.
successes.
Yeah, that's the point.
Sugar Lips Honey Tongue is this, John. Mira's first interaction with Nero as the target is a mind-blowing yet convincing compliment, the goal being to knock them off balance a bit before going in for the kill. So basically, Mira is going to try and lower your guard, socially speaking, as it were.
Your head explodes.
Okay.
So yeah, Mira will sort of lean in, having been pretty quiet throughout this conversation. Clearly.
William, can you please not pour your drink right in the mic?
Sorry.
Okay, that wasn't just me. I was trying to figure out how the headphones died. Clearly as ditzy as always. Nero, you're handling this so bravely. This is such a hard situation for you to be in. Coming back and having to go against the laws that you generally agree with to protect yourself must be strenuous.
Oh shit!
Nero, you take this at completely face value. And you are actually kind of like, wow, I never actually thought about it that way before. That's very insightful. Huh. Yeah.
I feel like if it were Phage, I would have to invoke the Irish defense of everything that sounds like that is an insult, and I want to punch someone.
Yeah,
Not how
but I
it
would
works.
never say that to Phage. To Phage, I would probably say, "Damn, you're pretty," or something like that. Yeah, I can't do that whole spiel in Mira's voice. But it all comes out sounding a bit like this.
Oh, I just have a confused look on my face and a cigarette in my hand and just like staring at Mira right now.
Which is about what you were going for, Mira.
Yep.
Nero, darling.
For the rest of this scene, any contested social roles between Nero and Mira, Nero will be at a -3.
Okay.
If Nero is on the defense, I should say.
Yeah.
Specifically, if
Yeah.
Nero is on the defense. Mhm.
Nero, darling.
Disarm.
If you don't, dream contact obviously is and worth trying. If we need to get more information in a more conventional way, I have skills at doing that.
I can tell you where he is, but or where at least
I would need-
where
I would need-
have been.
I mean that would be useful. I would need name, control, all the information you could provide.
Yeah, I can. That's yeah. I can do that.
Badge number,
Yeah, rattle off.
etc., etc., etc.
I rattle off name,
Actually,
last house
you
that I
don't.
can remember. Oh, I don't.
You rattle off name. I will need you to make a
Ooh.
Yeah.
intelligence and composure roll. -1.
Okay. So I've got 2 dice.
Would you like to spend a willpower on this?
I don't
you
think
can
I
spend
can.
a
Okay.
not for this. This is just a memory thing.
Yeah, I must say. Typically for mental
right.
things, you can't. 1 success.
You can remember your last address and your badge number.
Yeah.
You can't remember your social.
I rattle off.
That's
last
all
address and badge
I'm
number.
going to need. I have a very good feeling.
Especially because police officers' names
Pulls
are a
out a
matter of
pad.
public record.
Writes that information down. It's like, is there anything that we need to do in the immediate future?
Deal with this as far as what Gilly said.
Right. But I mean,
Kalinag.
that as well. That is
so-
number 2 on the priority list currently.
So yeah, so for Neofly and Liz who weren't there, Gilly has basically said, deal with this now. Or deal with this first.
The fetch.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Fetch is priority number 1, then back to Kalinag. So we can still, looking over at Lark, we can still gather information about Kalinag and the Godforsaken, but
Yes. There are enough of us that I think we can split our attention
yeah.
to this situation.
Also, not everything that like for the dream thing, we only really listen. I can work on that, and then for potentially contacting people who may or may not want to hurt me, that's sort of a me thing. So
I may also have
You
some
don't have to
resources.
go into this all alone. We're
I
your
have-
friends.
Yes, of course.
you are, and I'm not going in alone. But you don't show up to a mobster's place of business with a crowd.
No, but I may have conceivably some some minor potential sway with people who would want to hurt police officers. And she smells and she starts to head out.
I believe that. I really do. Well, Liz, do you want to educate me on dream things?
Sure. No, you can sort of reach out at your fetch and say hi.
I have no idea how to do that. Could you give me the basics?
You just you know when you stare at someone you wish they tripped? You do that. Yes. No? Wait.
No, I don't. I don't know.
No? Haven't you ever...
As this is all happening, I'm going to just look for a mirror in the house.
Sure, there's like at least one.
There's a couple.
Okay. I'm gonna go to the nearest one.
So
Okay.
I stare at my fetch and want him to trip?
No.
Nero, you mentioned earlier very insightfully that everything we say, especially being as we are and Liz as she is, isn't necessarily literal. Open your mind. It might be helpful to be nicer about the possibility.
I am open to the possibility. I'm trying to get specific instructions.
Given my current situation in regards to Nero, can I try and help Liz translate at all?
If you like.
You just sort of take the steering wheel as the ship is sailing, and you think really hard about what the sea is going to taste like, and you can make it happen. Neo got it. Okay.
I'm going to lick my thumb and smudge it on a mirror, and
Okay.
I'm just going to look at the crowd and say, I need to step out for a bit.
Do I notice him do that part?
Give me a wits and composure -3 because you are very focused on Liz and Nero right now.
So that's a chance roll.
Okay.
Wait, no, my composure is not as bad as I thought.
Pro tip:
That's actually one die, not a chance roll.
don't tell Liz your secrets.
Nero is still trying to figure out what the hell you mean about take the wheel on the ship and imagine what the water tastes like.
Yes, it's really basic. I don't know how to.
Yep. So no, you don't see that. I assume you're invoking your catch there, Neofly?
Yes, for the wrong
Okay.
foot. So as soon as I step outside, I'm going to replace my tracks with that of a raccoon and begin to just walk into the city to see if I can figure out where Will is.
When he leaves, Lark is going to follow Neo.
Okay. Cool. All right.
So, Jack, am I getting anything when you get back to it? Am I getting anything off of what Liz is saying?
You are. Liz is trying to explain something in metaphor that doesn't need metaphor. You're getting a vague inkling, but there's very little specific in terms of what she's saying. Mira, go ahead and roll me make it a manipulation and expression.
Okay.
I don't know if you want me to roll, because Liz is having a hard time explaining something that is very basic to her.
Liz is trying to describe what red looks like.
Liz, I need you to roll an intelligence and occult.
Okay.
Manipulation and expression. Got it.
Also, what time of the day is it? If I don't mind asking.
Right about now, it's about 4 p.m.
Yeah, cool.
One success. Jeez.
All right. Liz, you can add a single die.
Oh,
To your,
should I re-roll that?
Just roll another d10.
Okay.
Slash roll 1d10.
Yep.
That's-
Okay. So 2 successes. Mira is trying to translate for you, and eventually, after about 5 minutes or so, you come to the conclusion that this is best described in terms of meditation, the ability of one to focus their mind while emptying it, in a sense, and utilize what mental faculties they have in order to attempt to form a mental connection with another living, quote, living being.
Okay. This is gonna be hard. You don't have much. Okay. You just gotta don't grab onto anything. And I grab your hands, and I'm gonna sit you down.
I sit down.
Just sort of. Yep. So you just sort of sit and breathe, and don't grab onto anything.
Don't worry about today or tomorrow or what happened in the past. Just think of everything floating away.
Also, shiny things, don't grab on those.
Also, Liz, you are also very clearly aware that this is unlikely to succeed unless John Carver Fetch is currently asleep.
Okay. All right.
Because it doesn't work.
We're
if
practicing.
The target ain't asleep.
It's okay.
But if you're just practicing, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just practicing.
I am sitting there trying to not grab onto anything and also to grab onto the steering wheel of a ship and imagine what the sea tastes like while also emptying myself of today, tomorrow, and yesterday.
Can I?
This is not how you instruct a Catholic to dream, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. So despite being about as bright as a pile of rocks, Gail was smart, actually. Liz is
Mira is
pretty fucking manipulative and currently has quite a bit of a social advantage on Neo. So she's basically, given what Liz described, that kind of seems meditation-esque, she's just tapping into her background and trying to get him to chill out, empty out.
This would be easier if we had someone sleeping near us. I think it just should be that.
So while this begins, we're shifting over. So Neofly, where you're headed out to look for Will?
Yes. I was going to ask, in that when we went to go to the Goblin Market with him, were we able to get his contact information down, or would I?
You guys already have his contact info. You were actually the first one to get it because you guys did the music thing.
Okay. So the first thing I do before is I'm going to message my boss at my other job and text him, sorry, I can't come in today. There's some the family stuff is happening and I have to attend to it. Send, call Will.
Okay. So, Lark, you see Neofly heading down the street on his phone. He texts something, and now he's making a call. The rings twice, and then he picks up. What's up, Flyboy?
Hey, Will, it's good to talk to you again. I actually need to talk to you in person. It's something involving a little trip that we made the other day to that market.
Oh. Yeah. No, I can definitely chat market stuff with you. You guys planning an outing?
Not us, just me. It's something very important.
You got a death wish, son?
If it means I can save another person, then absolutely.
Yeah, we're definitely going to need to talk this over in person. Tell you what, meet me at this address. We'll get a couple drinks, and I will put you on the right track.
All right. I'll see you then.
All right. He's giving you an address more on the east side of the city.
Okay.
That if you jump on your navigation, turns out to be a bar, fairly close to where Haunted Waters has their house. Probably 20-30 minutes drive this time of the day with traffic.
Do I sense someone following me?
Lark, are you trying to stay out of sight?
No, she's not.
Okay, yeah. You look over your shoulder, and Lark is probably 10 steps behind you.
Okay, so I'm gonna try to lose her. So I'm going to use my athletic specializations to get the hell away from her.
Okay, so Lark, it's borderline comical as he turns over his shoulder, locks eyes with you, and then immediately tries to make a runner over a chain link fence just to the left.
Yes.
Against the wind wing?
Yeah, I mean,
Windwing
he
doesn't
is.
actually fly. The Windwing just glides.
Yeah, I
And
can
Neofly is also an expert at parkour, so it's kind of easy.
Yep. So I'm going to need, if you're trying to lose her on foot, it's going to be stamina and athletics. Your parkour specialty applies. And Liz, if you're going to chase, also stamina and athletics.
Lark.
Sorry. God, and now it's going
Games
around.
are fun this week.
Okay.
Nice.
Can I use a willpower on this too?
Yes, you can.
Liz and Lark are not that similar.
Let me see. I'm also going to be spending a willpower on this.
Certainly not as similar as Neo, Nero, and Mira.
And then everyone knows Adele. She sang that song about setting fire to the rain.
You rolled that as a chance to die, Lark. You'll need to re-roll that one.
I mean, only if the rain is taking place in the cop Fetch's apartment.
What did I do?
So if you look up at the top, you have the chance thing selected. You need it to be selected to normal.
2 successes for me.
Oh, oops.
Pleasure.
4.
Okay. So after about 10 minutes running, Neofly, you have gotten yourself a little out of breath, and you sort of pause and you check back around the corner, and she literally pokes her head around the same corner. You guys are face to face about 6 inches apart.
I was waiting for you to bump heads.
Is there a climbable building next to me?
Sure. Why not?
Let's climb.
Strength and athletics. Both of you go.
Ah,
Really?
yes.
Meanwhile, Lark is on the other side of town replacing a cop's sprinkler water with kerosene.
That's not Lark.
That's not Lark.
That's not
Adele.
Lark.
Oh, God.
Everyone has done it.
No, I have
I have not.
Neither have I.
Thank you.
0.
Does my athletic specialty apply on this one?
Parkour is not actually the same skill set for climbing, so no.
Interesting. Okay, cool.
City
Yep.
running and climbing a wall. 2 slightly different things.
As
Unless you're a
somebody who has done
werewolf.
both. Unless you're a werewolf, yes. As somebody who has done both. Slightly different, significantly different skill set, actually, yeah.
Again, unless you're a werewolf.
Well, no, a werewolf
Or
is not a skill set.
Ooh.
So yeah, right. So Lark, you're still looking around for handholds, and he is managed to grab a gutter, find a fire escape, and is practically out of sight at this point.
Can she like see where he's going?
I mean, you can definitely tell up. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But he's got quite a head start on you now.
Like, can she find a way around the building without, or whatever he's climbing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, because he's going up a building, but it's, I mean, row houses basically, they're built in a block. So even if he's on the roof, there's kind of a limited number of areas before he'll have to get off the building in order to continue moving.
Okay. She's going to try to find an area where he is going to have to get off to continue.
Oh, okay. All right. Give me a wits and composure -2.
Okay.
Because it's difficult to track somebody when you're on the ground and they're on the roof.
Okay.
Meanwhile, on the other side of town, Aunt Jenny has fallen into a ditch.
Oh, 4 successes.
But you know exactly where he's going because you're listening rather than watching, and you can hear him up there. All right, so Neofly, where you headed?
Well, the first thing I'm going to do is stand still and catch my breath.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look at my GPS to see what's the best possible direction to get to.
At this point, it depends on. I mean, if you want to get the rest of the way on foot, it's going to take you a couple hours. Alternatively, there's a couple bus routes that are fairly close by.
Okay.
You could steal a car or a bicycle.
I can do that. So what I'm going to do is, from where I climbed, I am going to go to the edge. I guess to the left of it, and I'm going to climb down that and head to a bus route.
Okay. Give me an intelligence and composure. Lark, give me a dexterity and stealth.
1 success.
Okay.
1 success.
All right. So, Lark, you managed to come around. He's still got a bit of a head start on you, but he has climbed down and is headed towards what looks like a bus stop. Neofly, Lark is following you. Lark is following you rather intensively, which means she probably has a reason. And it might be worthwhile at least if you don't want her following you, finding out why she is might be helpful.
Use your words.
No.
Include the rest of the team in the plot.
Keep this up. I'm enjoying watching them chase each other
Too,
all around
that's
fucking
also an
Baltimore.
option.
So here's the thing. Neofly, like the person who is playing him, has very poor communication skills. So he will continue to walk the bus route and just for now just keep walking past the bus route.
Sounds good. All right. So Lark, yeah, he's just walking now.
She is following.
All right.
We can do this all day.
This Scooby-Doo episode will not end.
It won't.
So at what point will Neofly either change his approach or head towards the bar, or what's he doing?
Just gonna keep going towards the bar.
Okay. All right. So, yep. You walk for a couple hours. And yeah, you manage to get there. And as you come in, it's dark. It's cool, which is great because you've been sweating your ass off, hoofing it across Baltimore, even in late September or late October. And you come in and Will is sort of just sitting in a back booth, kind of checking his watch every once in a while, sees you come in, kind of gives you a wave.
He's been sitting there for 3 hours.
I look at
More, that's fine.
I look at him. I just look at him, and at this point, just completely ignoring Lark because that's not important. Just goes straight to Will.
Okay. Well, Sonny boy, you have got it bad, don't you?
Pretty much, apparently.
Okay. Well, here's the thing about markets.
Before you continue,
He kind of he holds up a finger, pauses, and then licks his finger and traces something on the table. There, that should hold for at least a few minutes. What's up?
I quickly glance down at the table and then point my gaze at Lark.
Who has just now opened the door to the bar.
Okay. Do I notice anything on do I notice what he says or anything he writes on the table?
He drew something. You can see just the faint after image of a little bit of his beer being traced into a symbol, but it's kind of pooling together now, and you can't tell what it was.
Okay. I look back to Will and say, what was that?
Charm.
Okay. So he takes just a deep sigh, and he just says, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I had someone help me fish through my dreams, and I was able to find someone that I've been looking for since I made it to Baltimore from the other side.
Yeah, good on you there.
They're apparently being escorted off to a goblin market to be, I guess, sold. She was chained up. She wasn't able to do anything. There were goblins all around her, and then she looked scared.
So she's at least marginally intelligent. That's good.
That's very true.
Look, brother. Goblin markets are murderously tricky at the best of times. Going in by yourself will paint such a target on your back. You will be lucky if you walk out of there alive. You'll be even luckier if you walk out of there not owing what little is left of your soul and most of your body to somebody and not even realizing it. You don't go there alone. All right? I'm the witch of the fucking bitter wind. And I took your entire motley to go on a bookshop. Remember?
As he says that, I just kind of put my head down and just take a deep breath and kind of just shake my head, realizing how stupid I sound right now.
Can Lark hear any of this?
Give me a wits and composure -3.
2 successes.
Okay. You are able to catch a word here and there. Most of the rest of the time, even though it's a fairly quiet bar and they don't seem to be lowering their voices too much, it sounds like watermelon cantaloupe, watermelon cantaloupe, watermelon cantaloupe. I mean,
she's walking right over to them.
Okay. And then as you step up to the booth and just sort of look down at both of them, you see Will's mouth move. And you hear just a faint tinge of sound, but you can't make any of it out. And then he glances up at you, and in perfectly clear English that you can hear just fine. Afternoon. And kind of glances between the two of you as if he's trying to decide what's going on here.
Lurk just points at Neo. He owes me a drink right now.
Neo calls over the waiter.
Lady doesn't seem to be in the mood to brook an argument on this one.
There's no energy left in me to argue at this point. I call over a waiter.
Waiter will come over, take drink orders from everybody. Will already has 3 empty bottles, but he orders 2 more for himself. All right.
You gotta keep him waiting.
Neo, I think it's time to exercise a little bit of interfamilial trust. We are going to carry on our conversation, and I am going to invite your motley mate to drink with us. Is that all right with you?
I mean, it's the least I owe her after these past couple of days. Fine.
Lark, he'll gesture for you to sit and pull over a chair.
Right. She'll sit down.
Your drinks arrive. He puts he takes a long pull off of his beer, folds his hands in front of him. So you need to rescue somebody from a goblin market. Well, I hope it's the one we have here in town, because otherwise you are going to do a long hike for a train that's not coming.
I hope so as well.
What do you know about your friend? Was she from Baltimore originally?
That I know of, no. She was with me when I was on the other side.
Okay. Well, from what I understand, and I need to make a roll for this guy real quick. The gentry tend to pull from their favored hunting grounds, so there's a better chance than normal that she is hopefully local. Which, if she's following her memories back through the hedge like all of us do, would lead her this direction.
Well, I'm not sure at this point she's following her memories as to being forced close to them. I don't know what to make of it. All I know is that she's in trouble and I need to help her.
All right. Walk me through this. How did you find this out? Dreams, you said.
I had a dream last night where I was able to find her in a room, and if you remember the small one, that's part of our motley. She helped me go back into that dream and figure out where she could possibly...
Liz
Yes.
is a clever one.
Surprisingly so. Don't...
Not really.
Well, not for you, but... Anyway, she was locked in a cage, and
Okay.
I called out to her, and Liz said that she heard me. And all of a sudden, there was this door that opened up behind me, and these goblins came and they removed the cage and they shackled her and and they said they were taking her to the market. Which I could only assume that goblins and markets could only mean one thing.
Well, I mean, there's not an exactly 1-to-1 ratio between the real physical and the extent of the hedge, but it is unfortunately all too common that one of us manages to get free of Arcadia and then gets snagged up by the scavengers on their way back through the hedge. Sounds like might be what happened to her.
I kind of just lower my head down as he says that, and my hand just kind of goes limp on the table, and it quickly turns into a fist, and you could see it visibly shaking as he says, but she was with me. She was with me when we were able to escape from...
Time is weird. Time is weird in Arcadia. Even if you both escaped at the exact same moment as far as you were concerned, making the transition from Arcadia to the hedge, you could be separated by hours, days, months, years even sometimes. Time is weird. You can't put that on yourself. I mean, we're changelings. Everything's weird.
I look back up at him with just a look of desperation on my face and just say, so what do I do now?
Well, I mean, market opens in 3 days' time again. So you've got a little bit of leeway for planning. And you're going to need to take it delicate. Remember, there's rules to the market. It ain't like the real, somebody gets kidnapped over here, you send in a SWAT team and you just yank them out of there. Or, you shoot the motherfucker that did and walk out and hopefully they only need therapy. Hedge is very finders keepers and Goblin Market even more so. If she's their prisoner when she gets there, by all legal rights, she belongs to them. And you can't just steal somebody out.
So it would have to be a 1-for-1 trade.
You would if you're gonna manage to get her out, you would have to figure out best price and buy quick. And if you go in looking all desperate like that, they are going to take you for a ride.
I slowly come to gain back my composure and say, is there anyone you know in this city that's best with negotiating with goblins?
Well, actually, now that you mention, is an old guard. Goes by Cocklebur. He ain't courted. He's courtless. Don't know how he's done it. He's been around longer than most of us. I mean, Joey, Blue, a couple of the other ones remember when he came out, but he's one of the old guard. And yeah, if you can find him, he likes to hang around up north. Tell you what, I'll scramble around and see if I can get a lead. And I'll send you his information as soon as I can.
That would be much appreciated.
He's crotchety. I've only talked to him once or twice myself. So don't expect a warm welcome and don't expect him to be that generous. But if you need an expert on wheeling and dealing with hobgoblins and you don't have a hobgoblin that you can talk to, yeah. Cocklebur would be a good place to start.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, no. Experts on the hedge. There's plenty of people that know their way around the hedge. But the goblins, the hobs, on the other hand, they're a beast of a different color.
Seems like I've heard that somewhere before.
Anybody who's not dumb will tell you that. I'll give you a call next day or so if I manage to run him down. And then his phone, which is just kind of sitting there on the counter, the tabletop in front of him, buzzes and he snaps it up. Well, I got some Queen's business to take care of. You two play nice. And he gives you a grin, slams a $5 down on the table, and walks out.
Okay. I once again take a deep breath and just my face up, not looking in Lark's direction, say, if you're still upset at me from before, the reason I played that song was because I needed to find her. And I thought that she was with us. But I was wrong, and you don't have to forgive me. I don't care at this point. The only thing on my mind is looking for Butterfly, but just know it was with no ill intention to hurt you in any way.
Lark, give me an intelligence and composure.
Zero.
You don't remember Butterfly. Based on what he's told you, you're assuming that it was a member of the group that the Comtesse employed as her musicians. They were all very insect-themed. Butterfly doesn't stand out to you specifically from your durance. Most of the time, of course, you were shackled up in the rafters singing, and so not down on the floor with the rest of the prisoners with jobs. But obviously this is somebody that has a fairly strong effect on Neofly, but you don't particularly remember her specifically.
I understand why you did it. What I don't seem to understand is why you can't trust any of us. Why I had to just chase you all over the city. And what even was that? I'm gonna see you back home anyway.
Do you remember the one that played the violin?
Do I remember that one?
As far as that goes, you've got some vague recollections. Nobody's particularly jumping out at the moment.
Okay. Kind of.
You can give me another intelligence and composure if you want, actually.
Okay.
Somebody played a violin.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely remember there was
two
violin.
successes
There
that
was
time.
a violin being played.
I've heard of these things called violins.
It's like a viol, right?
They're there, yeah.
I got 2 successes that time.
Okay, yeah, you can remember them marginally well.
Okay. Yeah. I remember.
The sound of that violin is the only thing that runs through my mind every night as I sleep. It's something that haunts me. But it's the only thing that I want to hear again, and I don't want to put any unnecessary weight on anyone that doesn't need to be involved in this. It's not that I can't trust you. It's that I don't want to break this contract. I don't want you to get hurt because of me. I don't want any of you to get hurt because of me.
I'm the one that followed you. I'm the one that chased you. I inserted myself into this. So if I get hurt, it's my own fault. But I'm going to help you with this, whether you want me to or not.
his fist that was clenched up this whole time on the table kind of just loosens and.
Give me an intelligence and occult, Neo.
Mhm.
Yeah. Intelligence and occult.
3 successes.
Lark's statement kind of opens a little bit of a door in your mind, because you're thinking about the motley pledge that you've made and the nature of the alliance that you've struck with these people, and suddenly it occurs to you that alliances are a two-way street. By trying to do this all on your own, you are forcibly denying the potential for the rest of your motley to fulfill their pledge to you. Because the alliance, as it's been struck, is we have each other's backs, we protect each other, we help each other. That's the point of that motley pledge. By not allowing them to help you, to an extent, from a certain perspective, you're shitting on the pledge a little bit. Mm-hmm. And that had never occurred to you before now. What you do with it is, of course, up to you. Mm-hmm.
I take another deep breath as I just say, fine. And as I pull out my phone and open it up to the group chat, it says, and I will message to everyone, I will all need your help in 3 days' time. And just send the message.
Such timing!
Wow. Apparently, my notifications are psychic.
Back
Sorry,
back at the house.
That was fucking amazing. Right. So back at the house where Nero is now engaged in the third hour of his attempts to meditate.
Did I ever get that manipulation?
I'm attempting to try and do something. So I don't know.
Okay. So yeah, you guys have been trying to get Nero.
I never got a roll for that.
Yes. I will need I will need a roll for that. You have your manipulation and expression, I believe.
Yeah.
Subterfuge or persuasion, maybe?
Actually, persuasion. Yeah, no, manipulation, persuasion of this. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I get a +3 to attack because I am currently the attacker from a social perspective.
No, because this is actually he gets a -3 to his defenses.
Okay.
So unless it's a contested roll, unless he's actively trying to resist you, which I don't think he is right now.
No.
That's fine.
So it'll just be a regular roll. Sorry.
Am I going to use a willpower on this? Oh, that's right. I'm Ferris. I can use a glamour for an extra die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can spend glamour on a one.
On a manipulation. I'm going to do that.
Okay.
So that's a +1.
Yes.
Because I like being good at the things I roll. Only 2 successes, for fuck's sake.
And
Mira's been having a rough day.
Yeah.
Sorry,
and I don't know what the equivalent is, but I know that we're probably not going to be able to reach the fetch anyway, so I am attempting to, because I can sort of, if I pull Nero into one of my own dreams, will that still teach him kind of the basics of doing this?
The technique will still be similar, yes.
Okay. Because I think that might be showing him might be easier than trying to explain it, because that hasn't worked so far.
Okay.
Like 2.5 hours in.
Right.
Jen.
So you get Nero comfortable, and then you try and fall asleep yourself, and you basically tell him, look, my brain is going to be over here doing its thing, and you just need to get your brain into my brain.
Yep.
So Mira is going to sit here and make sure everything goes okay. And you and I are going to be co-pilots on a nap. More or less is what you try and get across to him.
Uh-huh.
So I will need a resolving composure from Liz.
All right. This is going to go great.
And I will need a wits and composure +2 from Nero.
Is that the result of Mira's manipulation roll?
Yes.
Can I spend a willpower on this? I'm spending a lot of them. I just really want this to work.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I mean, yours is not going to necessarily contribute. Yours is just how quick can you fall asleep.
Okay. All right. I'll save that then.
What's manipulation
I'll save that
+2?
willpower.
Yep.
Composure. Real fast. 2 successes.
Yeah.
On
Within 10
dice,
minutes,
I got
you
2
are
successes.
sacked. Okay. So Nero, you're focusing in as best as you. No, that's wits and manipulation. It's supposed to be wits and composure.
Oh, sorry. I checked wits and manipulation. That's what you. Or wits and composure. Okay.
Sorry.
+2.
Wits and composure +2.
Cross that.
Got it.
Yay.
Come on. It's super easy. Just follow.
1 success. Less dice,
Okay.
but
I fall asleep.
Right. You're pushing in and you're trying to get there, and you close your eyes, and for one of the first times, you manage to sort of fall asleep but still remain conscious. Give me another one of those rolls. Same pool, Nero.
You know what I just realized? I also give him a bonus for being a playmate.
Ah, yes.
Ooh.
Bonus of how much?
Let me find that book. Damn it, Changeling.
pending a reroll.
Paris, new
I
kid.
believe it's a +1 to any group activity.
I like that I can roll 8 dice and still get 1 success.
Oh, okay.
+2.
Actually, no. It's
Oh.
no. You get a +2. Okay, Nero. I need you to re-roll those, but with the 9 again active.
Okay.
Sorry about that. I totally remember my abilities clearly and all the time.
Yes!
5 successes.
Five successes on the first one. All right.
And-
So you sack out, and your mind, however, I mean, you can tell you're asleep, but your mind is surprisingly conscious. And you can still sort of hear Mira lucidly coaxing you through this entire process. And within about an hour, and time passes weird when you're asleep, but Mira, from where you're watching, you can see almost as soon as she fell asleep, Liz's eyes start doing the REM thing back and forth.
Yep.
Nero's are now doing that in unison with hers, in synchronous. And Liz, what are you dreaming about?
So I would not. Liz doesn't like looking at her own things. So this is going to be like a wish fulfillment type of thing. We're going to be. I use ship metaphors, so clearly it's going to be.
On a ship.
No. What do you? That's nonsense. Why would it be that?
I don't know.
Possibly.
I don't know why that would have come across.
Yeah, who knows? No, we are. We're along a lake.
Okay, I'll need you to roll me a wits and resolve as well.
All right. Wits and resolve.
Yeah, while that's rolling, Mira's just, it's okay. You don't have to worry about any of it. You're right where you need to be. And you just need to
0 successes.
force yourself into the world and fall asleep.
Okay.
Plan
So
was
it's
to
an
fix
intensity 0 dream. You've made it very malleable from the exterior. So, Nero, all of a sudden you open your eyes and you see Liss down about a little in front of you, about 2 feet in front, 2 feet below you. And you glance down, you don't have a body. And she's there skipping rocks into a lake.
that.
Can I give myself a body?
You can try, sure.
I would like to, it's
Um,
disorienting not
give
looking down
me-
and not seeing anything. So,
Give me wits and empathy and weird.
wits, empathy, weird. Not 9 again.
Strange question. Do I know he's there?
Not yet.
Okay.
2 successes.
But then he sort of materializes next to you.
Hi.
Hi. This is weird.
No, this is normal.
Um,
This makes sense. I skip a rock.
just trying to look around, just trying to sort of feel around what I can do in this particular instance. Can I, like,
I wanted.
I made myself appear. Can I make, like, a sandcastle appear?
Give me another one of those rolls. Wits and empathy and weird.
4 successes.
You make a sand fortress appear. It's got towers, it's got pine cones for flags, it's got all sorts of shit.
It's very, like...
There's
like,
shells in it. There's shells in it that are very specifically ocean shells that should not be on the shore of a lake, but it looks very, very ornate.
it's very, like, sort of... Somebody who, like, has, like, blueprints for a sandcastle designed.
Right. Yes.
That's how Nero's mind works.
This is a straight out of SpongeBob sandcastle. Yeah.
I just love the dichotomy of things that we've been creating in our dreams.
I want to make the water rise up and hit his sandcastle and push it down.
Sandcastle.
This
Castle. I can't
wave
speak.
just sweeps up out of the lake, apropos of nothing. No wind, no anything. Just water, move, splash, poof, sandcastle gone.
Can I make?
How do you feel?
Can I make the sandcastle be back where it was?
Roll me another wits, empathy, and weird.
I'm trying to prevent him from doing this.
All right. Contested by your wits, empathy, and weird.
Okay.
Let's
Let's do this. 1, 3 successes.
So you try and make it up there, and then another splash of water, and it's obliterated.
This is
I'm
interesting.
just staring at you. How do you feel?
Light.
But like emotions.
Curious.
Okay. What if you kept trying to build a sandcastle and I kept hitting it with waves?
I would stop trying to build a sandcastle.
How would you feel though? What if all you wanted to do was build the sandcastle and there were waves hitting it over and over and over again?
Can I make the lake dry up?
Give me a wits, empathy, and weird. Liz, give me wits, resolve, and weird.
I'm not trying to stop it. I'm trying to amplify it way too far. I'm trying to make things burn farther than he is wanting them to. Because he's trying to, evaporate the lake? I want it to be on fire.
Okay.
Okay.
Resolve and weird.
All right.
Liz's best teacher.
Yeah. One. 2 successes.
So, Nero, you sort of concentrate on the lake a little bit. The water begins to bubble and then steam, and then immediately just transforms into just straight water vapor. These clouds are boiling up and out, and the water disappears, and you're like, great, good. And then, there's no actual ambient heat that you can feel per se, at least not all that much. But the ground then, the mud there begins to crack and dry and crumble into dust, and this vicious wind springs up, and it's almost a small dust bowl in there, and then you start seeing flashes of lightning and flames starting to erupt, and this is turning into a firestorm.
I snap my fingers, and it stops. You can do that to a fetch. Sometimes the fetch knows you're there.
It's still just a dream, though. Do they dream?
Mm-hmm. Everything dreams. And you can try and reach out through them. And if you have a bad dream and you wake up, you feel bad.
The pettiest method of revenge.
There's just gears ticking right now in the head.
Yeah, mechanically what Liz is talking about is if you invade your fetch's dreams and give them a night solid of nightmares, they don't get their willpower in the morning having woken up from sleeping that night. Now, unless things go really bad, you still do, but they don't.
Okay, That's good to know.
Mm-hmm. They do have a chance of realizing that it is you, though. That
if things go badly, they can sometimes realize it's you, and they can sometimes figure out how to do it back. If things go badly. But, what are the odds of that?
Depends on the caster.
I like this.
7 out of 10, actually. Per die.
No, failure is not necessarily bad. It just means you don't succeed. It doesn't mean they win.
Yeah. You can also make someone feel better or different.
If I could test things. I could see how he reacts to different situations. This would be very useful in planning, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Can I make a beachside bar up here?
And in Grover Green suddenly just devolves into dream experimentation. That's all we do for the next 20 episodes.
Can I make
Liz's objective is accomplished.
Can I make like a tiki bar up here? Like, with drinks on
empathy
it?
and weird.
One success.
It's a little rickety, but it's there.
I grab a drink and start drinking.
It's a little warm, but it still tastes good.
Thank you, Liz. I have many ideas now.
Yeah, it's nice here.
It is. There is another question, though.
As you hold your
coconut
cup
right next to you.
No. And you're looking over the barren wasteland of what used to be a lake.
I do have a question, though. How do we get out?
You wake up.
Oh, wake up.
I try to wake up.
Your eyes. You're
Huh.
still looking over the. No, just kidding. You're awake.
It's the skin begins to peel off. It's like Indiana Jones.
Mira's
stay there for a minute.
presumably still there.
Hmm.
I hope you had a good dream. Jack, you muted.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still there. His eyes have opened.
Yes. Yes, I did.
She'll give you a nod. Well, I'm glad you managed to make progress. Maybe be a little nicer to Liz.
I'm still sleeping.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah.
Have I not been nice to Liz?
Part of friendship is understanding that different people have different expectations and needs. And while I think you've been very friendly with Liz, I think she might not feel appreciated for who she is sometimes.
Okay.
All I ask is that you work on it.
Look over at Liz and sort of nudge Liz. See if Liz wakes up.
Dang it. It's gonna wake me up.
Yep. You're being shaken awake.
Not shaken, nudged.
Nudged awake.
Okay.
5 more minutes.
Have a good dream, Liz?
Yeah, it was a lake, and it was on fire.
That's lovely. Liz,
I reach over and tousle Liz's hair. Thanks, Liz.
when you have some time, I did want to ask you some stuff about this, but I understand if you and Nero need more time to work on this now.
I think you got it.
I'm good.
Yeah.
You mentioned...
If you wanted my help when you were trying stuff, safety nets. I can do what you did.
I'd appreciate that.
In my dream. And then I turned to Mira.
Meanwhile, Adele, where are you?
Oh.
They're trying to have a conversation.
For the hour, from downstairs filters this drone of forget your troubles, fall asleep. There is nothing to be concerned about.
I would be more than happy to take the time, but Phage hasn't had a chance to do anything yet this session, so I'm ceding my time.
Okay. Phage, are you up to anything particular?
I've already told you what I was doing privately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, as you've made your way through the hollow, you've taken some time. Everybody else has seemed busy currently. So you decide to duck into the hollow.
Mm-hmm.
The space is a little smaller now that Gale is gone.
And now,
but most of the comforts are still there.
Both of my 2 dots are currently in amenities.
Yep. And as you glance around, the idea of food, never too far from your mind most of the time, occurs to you again, and you decide to take a little bit of time and see what you can create here. Give me a manipulation and empathy +2.
Manipulation, empathy, and 2. This is going to be fun. Wow, on 10 dice, that's 1 success.
Oh,
I know that feel, bro.
Some of you guys have not been having a great day. Yep.
But it is a
You think-
success.
Right, there is a success. So you kind of focus, looking around, and also kind of with an eye half towards the future. If we make this place bigger, putting something right here would be good, I think. You focus down and kind of hold out a hand just to give yourself a little bit of an extra grip on what you're trying to create. And with a sort of popping sound, a ring of stones just appears. Focus a little harder, and gout of flame is now crackling in the middle of this little fire ring. Give me another one.
Come on. You have 10 dice to do this. Come on. 6
Yay!
successes. There we go.
You're like, all right, we've got the foundation down now. You think to yourself, and you're like, all right, maybe a little bit of assistance here. You clamber out of the hollow down to the ground surface, and you find the cauldron that was left behind by the Wrong Brothers when they made the meal out of the Briar Wolves that you guys killed. Kind of scrub it out with a little bit of sandy soil that you find, shake it upside down, and heft it back up in. And thinking about what you want to accomplish, you sort of just innately kind of start running your hands over the thing, fitting it on top of the ring of stones, nudging a few of them into a little more secure of a position. You set it down, and you just start thinking food. Thinking food. And with a faint sheen, there's just a faintest little bit of glimmer of liquid that starts to pool in the bottom. Then it occurs to you, you need some ingredients. What are you going to do about that?
Well, if the hedge is psychoactive, theoretically, bloody anything should work. So I'm going to head out and grab random bits of plant matter.
Okay, give me a intelligence and survival.
Hedge stew.
this is how you get weird mushrooms.
This is.
That's
I'm
the
going to put a
Underdark.
willpower into this one.
No, that's
There.
the hedge.
1 success.
We actively had weird
One success.
mushrooms last season.
Hmm.
You find something that looks a little bit like a carrot,
Mm-hmm.
and
works.
so you decide, okay, that might be fun. It's got that sort of feathery top and a little bit of kind of rooty base kind of sticking out. So you grab it and you pull. Give me a strength and athletics, -2.
Strength. Athletics. You say -2, but I'm going to put 2 glamour into that to negate that, because my weird is 2, and I can spend 2 glamour.
Okay.
1 success.
You heave on this thing, and you're expecting a carrot, which should not be difficult to pull out of the ground. But when the carrot is roughly the size of a watermelon, that thing's got some grip to it. You literally... And then all of a sudden, with this heave and a shower of dirt, this pretty much 18-inch, foot-across root just yoinks out. Smells kind of mealy. Kind of like a very bland potato.
You should do all right. Whole point of a gruel is it's filling, not necessarily the tastiest.
Also, there's a lot of dirt on it.
Clean it off.
Okay. So you brush it off, and yeah, you've got a huge, fat, starchy root.
Or take it back up. This should do probably for at least a start.
All right. Are you just dropping it in, or are you preparing it in any fashion?
I'm going to chop it into bits.
Okay. You find a knife, something sharp. Start skewering off bits and chunks of it. You find that the skin, the rind on this thing is really thick, so you sort of peel that away, and there's a nice fleshy root underneath. A little bit of the musty smell is gone now that you've skinned it, and you just start chopping off chunks and throwing them in. And that little bit of broth that was in the bottom seems to multiply the more you put it in. There's always just enough to sort of just cover whatever matter, the more solid material you've put in there. Smells fairly good.
All right, give that a little bit of time to cook over. She kind of starts stirring it a little bit, and just kind of like under her breath, she just kind of starts singing, sort of musically, several lines from Macbeth, and also from the song that she had given to Neofly on opening night. Just kind of under her breath, just. Round about the cauldron go, in the poisoned entrails throw, skin of toaded spike of bone, sharpened on an eagle stone. Just kind of under her breath as she sort of stirs the pot.
With a very Scottish play flair, even from an outside observer would be like, yeah, this is very witchy. That's not disturbing at all. I really hope that's just soup. But you spend
singing musically as opposed to singing in other varieties.
Yes, but you spend about 45 minutes getting your witch on, and at the end of it, there's a rather homogeneous, fairly bland looking, but definitely qualifies in the gut glue level of cuisine.
Oatmeal.
It's gruel.
Pretty much. Yeah.
It's a clan of ravenous red-green creatures.
No, it is meat and potatoes somehow out of one single giant root vegetable.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And as you're stirring it, it's like, yeah, I didn't put that in.
That looks like a rat.
I was going to say, that's either rabbit or squirrel or possibly a rodent of some other type. But it doesn't look poisonous, so go us. Congratulations, you got a gruel pot for the hollow.
Yep. And I'm just going to, grab some bowls that I probably have to materialize and sort of pour some, a handful of different bowls and see if I can take this out of the hedge. Just the meals, not the pot.
Right. So you ladle up probably 4 bowls. You can probably carry those in each arm. Kind of elbow the door open. Step back through. Seems to be intact, mostly. Where are you going with them?
Downstairs.
Okay.
I just kind of
so
call
you come
out
downstairs.
As I head down, I just kind of call out, all right, everyone, soup's on.
So Liz and Mira and Nero, at least, are there. Is Adele still in the house?
Nope.
Okay.
Adele, when she said she left, she left.
Okay. Just checking. So yeah, there's 4 bowls. As you hand it out, you start to realize it is getting colder much faster than you would have anticipated.
Man,
it's still
quick.
here, but it's just, yep.
Ooh, food.
Eat it quick or it's going to get cold. This is hedge food, so it doesn't last too long outside.
Do I have any inclinations about hedge food from getting fostered around?
Not particularly.
Okay.
Arcadia food, yes. Hedge food, nah.
I will eat it. I trust Phage not to poison me.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I trust Phage. I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's very filling. It doesn't taste fantastic. It's pretty bland, but it's definitely got some oomph to it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Do I dare ask what's in this?
It gets a little boring about halfway down, but it definitely fills you up good.
You say that out loud?
Yeah, that was two-face.
Meat and potatoes.
Kind of, where'd you find the meat?
It's magic.
Right.
What do you want to ask?
Right. This is and just overfood. So, you know that you've been doing. You're the expert at dream stuff, and also a medic of your own incredible talents. And we were working with Nero. You mentioned you also had been doing some stuff with Neofly. I had a thought, and I don't know if this would be applicable. I am fairly sorry. Something popped up on my screen. It's not. Can I hear anyone?
Yes.
I don't know. Can you hear us?
You can hear.
Yes, I can.
Yeah.
You're the. It wasn't your sound.
Okay. No, it's just I was looking around and I was like, crap, did Skype
Nope.
go? Okay.
Anyway.
Never
I hear
mind.
you. Yep.
I was thinking, I'm fairly adept at holistic remedies, unconventional approaches. I might be able to try and help concoct something to make, not magically, but synthetically, dreaming easier or dreams weirder. I don't know if that would be useful to you, but I do wish to help in any way I can.
Liz is staring wide at you the entire time and then just blinked once when you said weirder. Do I know what she's talking about?
Give me either an intelligence and medicine or an intelligence and science.
Let's do intelligence and medicine. Yeah, because I know about the...
Can I do a manipulation in medicine?
Roots. About the goblin fruits.
Be more manipulation and expression.
Okay, fine. That works too. But I have more dots in medicine.
You're not trying to give her a false diagnosis.
One success.
Yes, I am. 2 successes.
Okay. Yeah. So, Liz, you're thinking over. You think you've got an idea what she's talking about. Something a little more druggy in nature, you think?
Mm-hmm. I'm specifically wondering, because Liz has experienced, she has not expressed this to anyone else, but Liz has experienced that dreams can go bad, real bad, and that's not good. She would be wondering if this would cause her to lose, if it would be easier to lose control that way or not. Be the primary concern.
Given Mira's demeanor, you don't think it would be, that definitely wouldn't be an intentional effect.
Okay.
Whether or not it would require experimentation.
Okay.
Generally, basically, if it somehow manages to increase the intensity of the dream, that would be the main worry.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But if it's just meant to induce a dream without necessarily affecting the intensity thereof, might be helpful.
At the very least, I might be able to help people get to sleep. If that's going to be a repeated concern.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And intense isn't always what you want, but maybe?
Of course. I'm just here to help. I am also decent at talking to people about things, if that's useful at all for whatever you're up to.
I'm not up to anything. I'm here on the ground. Um. But thank you.
Sure.
This is good. I am staring at the stew again. It's gone gluey, and I've only eaten about half of it because I got bored.
And what is
Nero
Adele?
will eat if she's given food.
She has been given food. There were 4 bowls and 4 people. But now, as far as what Adele's up to, where did Adele go?
Adele went back to her place with the information that she got from Nero, and
how do you envision Adele's parking is? Does she have street parking or garage?
Her house?
Yeah.
Garage, probably.
Okay. So you drive up, you key your garage opener, the door starts to open, and all of a sudden something splatters across your windshield.
Okay.
It's kind of whitish with some black bits in.
Okay.
Oh. Oh.
I think a bird just shat on your car.
Yeah.
I got it. It took a while.
That's funny.
Drummond strikes back.
Good old Drummond.
So, we'll sigh. Keep pulling in.
Okay. Pull into the garage.
Mm-hmm.
Door shuts behind you.
Yep.
You step out of the car, and you hear, "Motherfucker!" fading into the distance.
It's beautiful.
I regret nothing.
And as Adele begins her plans for the first investigations into what is going to eventually become of Nero's fetch, that is where we are going to end for this evening. We will pick up here next week.
Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.